Hey everybody, I'm Rusty and this is uFix a Garage. If you're watching this video, you probably have a 5th generation Ram truck that came without factory heated seats and you're wanting to add them to your truck. You're wondering, 1, if it's possible, 2, what's it going to cost, and 3, how hard is it going to be? Well, I'm going to talk about all of those things in this video. So rather than going through the step-by-step how to do it, I want to start with inspecting your truck, figuring out what equipment your truck currently has, what equipment you're going to have to buy, and does it fit within your skill level to do this mod. It is not overly difficult, but it can be technically complicating. And so hopefully this video will start you down that path. I'll have a follow-up video that will show the process on this truck, which is a 2022 Ram Bighorn. So let's get into it. The first thing you're going to want to check on your truck is your wiring harness. For whatever reason, when Dodge makes these trucks, there's not consistency as to whether or not the wires for the heated seat and heating steering wheel option are contained in the wiring harness. So your heated seat module is underneath your passenger seat. So everything from up front runs to the passenger seat. Then there are some slave wires that run over to the driver's seat and feed the heated modules for it. And we'll talk about that. But this plug is the one that you're going to want to focus on first. This is underneath your passenger seat. You don't have to remove your passenger seat to get to it. You can just reach up under the seat. I just have my seats out right now because I am in the middle of this mod and I wanted to shoot this video while I was doing it. It makes it easier to see. So I'm going to throw up a diagram on here and you're going to be looking for the marked wires in the diagram. Looking at this plug from the back, with the big red wire on the lower left and the big red wire on the lower left and the big black wire on the lower right, you're going to see the numbering sequence for the pins in this plug, and you're looking for wires in the pin holes on the diagram here. If you don't have those wires, you know that you're at least going to have to add wires to your passenger wiring harness in order to make your seats work. For me, this truck came with a power driver's seat and a manual passenger seat. I don't have the wires for the heated seat option. So I'm going to have to add a total of 12 wires to my system in order to make my power heated seats work, which is 9 wires, and then another 3 wires to make the heated steering wheel option work. Because again, the module that controls all that is underneath the passenger seat. This is probably the cheapest portion of this mod because we're just talking about wires and some pin connectors. So you're going to be probably less than $100 into adding wiring. That's not really too bad, but it is the most technically difficult part of this also because you've got to know what pin number on here goes to what pin number on the driver's seat or what goes to the fuse box or the CAN bus system. I'm going to help you out with that in a follow-up video, but for now let's just determine whether we have the wires here. Once you've inspected your wiring harness and determined whether you have the wires in place, and this is going to be somewhat of an easy mod for you, or you don't have the wires in place but you feel like you can add them yourself, then you need to move on to your seats. So this is where the biggest portion of the expense is going to come in this mod. There's 7 components that if you don't already have them, you're going to need to order. And individually, they're not too terribly expensive, but combined, they start to add up. So you're going to need a cushion heater or a cushion pad for both seats. You're going to need a back heating pad for both seats. And the part numbers for those cushions are the exact same. So you're going to order 2 cushion heating pads. You're going to order 2 back heating pads. I'll put the part numbers in the description. Please verify for yourself before you order that it's going to match what you need. So once we have those heating pads, we're also going to have to buy a wiring harness that connects those pads to that wiring harness in the truck and to the heating module. So you'll need a wiring harness for the passenger seat and a wire harness for the driver's seat. Those part numbers are not the same, so make sure you order one of each. So now that you've got that, the last thing that you're going to need is the heat module. It's underneath the passenger seat. Again, I'll put the part number there for you, and you just need one of those. So you're looking at about $60 to $70 per pad, per seat, another $50 to $60 per wire harness per seat, and then $100 to $150 for that heating module. So this can get real expensive real fast, and it may make it cost prohibitive for you. It may be just better off for you to order a aftermarket heated seat kit from a good reputable place like leatherseats.com. They have some really good ones, the same ones that they use, that Catskins uses when they redo seats. You can order that from them for about $180 with some adhesive, and you can put aftermarket heated seats in your truck that will look pretty good. But if you're still on the road of doing this, maybe you've got some seats out of a wrecked truck, or maybe your truck already has all those components in it. Luckily for me, mine did. I've got a 2022 Ram Backcountry Edition truck, which is basically a Bighorn, and I don't know whether it was because of COVID and supply chain issues or whatever, but whenever I got ready to do this mod, I was actually just going to put the aftermarket heated seat pads in here because it was going to be too expensive. And when I pulled this seat out, I pulled the cushion back and realized I have all the components in my seats already. Pads, wiring harness, heated seat module already here. So that made this a lot more affordable modification for me. All right, before you start ordering parts, like I said, inspect your seats and make sure you don't already have the components for the heated seats. Just because your truck didn't come with heated seats from the factory doesn't mean they didn't put seats that already had those components in them in your truck when they made it. So the easiest way to do this, pull your passenger seat out of your truck, or you may be able to just look up under the seat, but you're looking for this heat module right here. If it doesn't have any of these components, this heat module won't be here. This wire harness will be a lot simpler. It won't have all of these wires going to the heated seat module, and you won't have nearly as many wires going into your seat. You can also pull your cushion loose, your seat cover, I should say, loose, and look at the base of your seat to see if that heat pad is already present. So that will give you an idea whether you need to order parts or whether you're really lucky like me and you already have them. Okay, the final thing we need to talk about is what needs to be done to make this system work once you have the heating components in your seats and the wiring ran. So there are some other components to the heated seat option when it comes from the factory. One is the hard buttons on this bezel, which control the driver, passenger seat, and the steering wheel. I already added that to mine. And the other is a heated steering wheel. That's part of that package. And so if you want a heated steering wheel also, then you'll have to run the wires for it. So you can make this system work without ordering any more hardware. You just have to activate it in the software of the truck. You're going to use a program called OBD Scan, and you can run it on a PC, which is what I'll be using in the follow-up video to this, or you can run it on a tablet or an Android tablet or an Android phone even. That connects to the memory module of your truck, and you're going to change some settings in there that's going to activate the heated seats. And if you add a heating steering wheel, the heating steering wheel. Once you do that and all the components are in, actually once you do that, the soft buttons are going to show up on your touch screen. You're going to have soft buttons for the heated seats up there and the steering wheel. They won't work until all the components are in and everything's connected, but you can actually control your heated seats just through the touch screen. You don't need to order this bezel unless you just want it, which I did, and you don't have to add the heated steering wheel again unless you just want it. I saved money on my seats, so I got a steering wheel for pretty cheap off of eBay with the heating module in it, and I'm going to add the clock spring, and I'm going to have 100% factory heated seats. All right, there you go. Hopefully in this video I've helped you determine what equipment your truck has and doesn't have, what it's going to cost for you to do this upgrade if you choose to go this route, and whether or not it fits within your comfort zone as a DIY project. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'm going to throw a link up to the follow-up video once it's done here that shows the in-depth process of the wiring, which is absolutely the hardest part of this, and the activation of the onboard computer. So stay tuned for that.